What's up, everybody, and welcome to Grinderslive, the flagship show here on a Thursday in a little 9-game slate. I'm going to break down some MLB for you and all kinds of fun stuff we got going on. So today, lucky for me, I'm joined by, wow, man, I was almost going to say something I shouldn't say, Kurt, but I'm joined by Kirk Deese today. That's all I'm going to say. Kirk Deese is here on a Thursday. What's up, Kirk?
Well, what shouldn't have you said, super veteran?
Well, I was going to call you by your former nickname, but I don't want to do that anymore.
Keep a low profile.
I don't want to rock the boat or anything, so it's just Kirk Deese these days. Kirk, how's the old golf team looking out there, man?
Golf team is terrible. I got some terrible advice from somebody, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm just really happy to be here with a super veteran like yourself.
Woo-wee, I'm moving up in the world, man. So that's good stuff, man. It's about time I got recognized for something, man. So that's good for me. But I mean, we got a little 9-gamer here, man. I assume you put in all the good Kirk Deese research, right?
I did a little.
And how you feeling about it?
Feeling pretty good. 9 games. We've got a bunch of pitching. We got, it's not like any must spots for pitching. I mean, we got really good pitchers like Sale with a question mark, right? Like a small pitch count. They're not going to be pushing them. Plus, when these guys this is what, third start back from Tommy John. So like, if he like gets pulled in like inning number 3 or he gets rocked, that's not going to surprise me at all. Or it's not going to surprise me if he ends up, with more pitches this time and is his old dominant self. So there's a lot of ways you can play it. We got Max in a bad matchup. We've got Darvish, interesting tournament play. We've got some nice mid-range stuff. So I like what we got for pitching. And what do you know? We're going to have Red Sox chalk again.
Yeah, that's been like that sometimes this year, but it should be fun. So we're going to break that down for you in just a minute. I do want to point out the FanDuel single entry series, which has gone on this week at the $30 price point range. It ends this week. This is it. It's it's the daily contest where they add up your 4 highest point totals of the week, and the winner is you can win the nightly prizes. But then at the end of the week, if you are the winner, then you move on and have a shot at a $40K live final seat. So that ends this week. So get in there, get you some action on FanDuel for the single entry. And also want to point out that this particular show is nice and free for the people. So all we really ask is give it a thumbs up, like button, whatever it is, subscribe to RG, YouTube Premium, and also all the questions that you want to ask, we are keeping track of them all, every single one of them. We're going to get to them at the end. Every single one of them, I guarantee it, we're going to answer all the questions. So anything you want to ask as we go along, put it in the chat on YouTube. Our producer, Devin, will keep track of it. Come back later. He'll ask us. So we will get to it, whatever the question. No question is too big. No question is too small. No question is out of bounds. We've already established that on this show. We take just about anything. All right. So
is that a shot to the shampoo and conditioner question from last time?
that one is, it still resonates with me, but I'm good. We're grown-ups here on this show, so we can handle that stuff. But any question you guys want, fire it off in chat. We're gonna get to it. So and we'll get you a link later on. No, don't drop the link just yet, Devin. Well, we'll get to that later. We're gonna drop a link for you later to save you a little bit of money. But never mind, he already dropped the link. Man, Devin's on top of it, man. But all right, let's talk about, this is where we would go into pitching now. If Dean was here, we'd go into all the pitchers. So let's start talking about some pitchers. High up in the high range, we're going to shoot through like all of them, because then we'll eventually get into the pitchers we want to pick on and stuff. So let's talk about the high range first. Guys that we like, that we can roster tonight, that look good in our lineups, good projections. I guess it starts with Mad Max. You say a bad matchup, but he's like kind of the guy tonight, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you say bad matchup, it's not ideal to face the Padres, right? In San Diego. I mean, man, after that 16 inning game last night where that stupid Tatis homer buried me late in the evening. But, you would think that, the one thing that you get with Max Scherzer is you get massive, pitch count, right? Like he tells the coach when he wants to come out, like that's just how he is. So, and then after a game where they used up so many different pitchers last night in the bullpen, you'd think that maybe he goes a little bit longer tonight, right? As long as he's performing and doing well. And, he comes in with the highest K percentage on the slate at 34.4%. We know what we're getting with this guy. We're getting pitches, we're getting strikeouts and great control. And, he does give up a homer here and there from time to time. So, and the Padres are certainly a lineup that, and this is kind of like a playoff atmosphere out there. So, they could get to him, but he should be the clear number one. Then, right behind him, you got Chris Sale. If we could believe that he's back, then he would be, the either number one or number two. But he did only get 71 pitches last game. They aren't going to push this guy no matter what. There's a myriad of things that could go wrong, but he does have a good matchup. Minnesota is far from the great team that they once were. The only problem I see here is that the Kirk Palm dew point rating in this game is off the charts. It almost broke down my whole system. It took me about 30 minutes to get the thing running before the show. So, the humidity is at 78%. It's hot in Boston. Trust me. I just took Phil, who's recovering nicely from spinal surgery. My dog. Shout out to Phil. I took him on a little stroll I pushed him like a baby carriage just about an hour ago, and man, it is hot out there. So the weather is ripe. So I think that this game is going to have a lot of runs. We've got some BVP too. I know that you're itching to get to that. Somebody has some good BVP versus Sale. Are you on top of that?
Well, I was going to point that out here. I was waiting for you to get finished. You say the dew point model is kind of making it rough for Sale. The BVP model is not doing him any favors either.
Chop factors.
There's a couple guys in here that are pretty good against him that I don't mind. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at Donaldson. I'm looking at Sano. Some guys in that lineup that can do some damage here. And just in general, there's not a lot of. Some of these guys are really young, so some of the numbers are kind of like whatever. But there's a lot of these guys that don't strike out very much against left-handers, and that's limited stuff here. But they haven't shown, and he's not been the strikeout guy that he once was, like many a years ago. So maybe there's some reason not to play with Chris Sale.
Yeah, this is a high variance spot, right? It just is. This is not. We don't know. We could get vintage Sale. It could be him rounding into form, and he could strike out a lot of batters. And, Minnesota, I was looking over against left-handed pitching over the last 30 days, they're about 13th in K percentage. So they're striking out a little bit more compared to their season numbers. Their lineup's a little bit weaker, with the loss of Nelson Cruz, but they still, got some pop there and some dangerous hitters. So I think it's a high variance spot. I like Sale. I'm going to play some Sale tonight, but I also like some hitters against him.
Fair enough. All right. So you got the two big guys right there. And then it's kind of a little drop off, I think, after that. And depending on what system you're looking at here, some will tell you that Kikuchi is the next best pitcher on the slate. And just for arm talent, maybe it's Darvish, but that's a terrible matchup. Who do you have next in line?
Yeah, so I mean, you Darvish is the next from a talent standpoint on the other side, but again, that's not ideal going against the Dodgers, although he does have a couple of good starts already on the books against the Dodgers. So including a really high strikeout performance in one of those games that I remember offhand. But yeah, Kikuchi's there. We've got Hernandez. We've got Patrick Corbin in a spot where we can actually feel good. I feel good, at least, about playing Patrick Corbin. We've got Jamison Tyon, who's actually been really solid over the last two months. You know, he's down to like a 2 ERA over his last 9 starts. He is not getting a ton of strikeouts, but certainly he's been all right. So there's plenty of guys. We got Alex Wood against the Mets. I think the Mets are not very good. Actually, I think they stink, and they're going to continue to unravel here down the stretch. And I'm going to take advantage of that. It's a good park for Alex Wood, and you know, he could definitely rack up some strikeouts in this matchup.
So one thing I forgot to ask here a minute ago, I got sidetracked. What does the model say about hitting teams the day after you go late night 16 innings? That's like 2 games in one practically. Like the batter's got to be exhausted, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure, but they're adults. You know, they can handle it, but certainly, you know, it might be a play a little bit of an effect. My model doesn't cover that. It's so focused on dew points that it's tough, but I know the chop factors model has that. So maybe you're the one that can answer that one a little better.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, because over the last 13 games that exceeded 15 Major League Baseball innings in one game and then played the day after, WOBA is down 24% for those teams hitting. So I think there's something there. I think there's something to playing a long game one night and then having to bounce back the next night, especially against good pitching. So I don't know. I find that interesting. All right, what do we got next on tap here? Is there any, you're not going to play Carrasco. Are we getting into guys now that, what about Mikolas? I mean, he's got some talent and he's got a good matchup against Pittsburgh. Is Miles Mikolas on your radar?
Not really. You just don't get a bunch of Ks. It could be an efficient outing with him, but you know, he's just coming back from injury. It's not his first start, but I think it's his second start, and you just don't get the high Ks. I mean, I could see it working out for him. I just have more interest in other guys. So I'm really focusing in on that Kikuchi, Corbin, Hernandez, that tier right there. So let me talk about Patrick Corbin quickly. Horrendous season numbers, right? Like 18.6% K percentage, higher than usual walks for him at 7.1%. He's giving up almost 2 home runs per 9. And the hard contact's been a problem for him as well. So all things would say not to start him, but he's been work in progress too. And actually he looked pretty darn good in his last start. His velocity was up to 94 when it was sitting at 91, 92. So that's a significant change. It's not just like one tick, right? It's more than that. So that really helps him with his slider. He has that, you know, that fastball where he commands it and he jams people inside, or he hits the outside corner. He's got that slider that follows it up, that makes him, you know, good when he's on. So and then this is the Marlins, right? The Marlins are just horrendous. This is a team that's now second in K percentage over the last 30 days against left-handed pitching, almost at 29%, first in K percentage against left-handed pitching on the season, right? Like this has just been like a cheat code now with the way that this lineup is, where we can play pretty much any pitcher against them. I mean, Fetty certainly proved that yesterday.
2 days ago. 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah, whatever.
Fetty dominated him. Yeah, I remember that one. But yeah, you look at their lineup and the heart of the order there. The three of the guys back to back strike out a third of the time. Like that's a huge number. That doesn't even count the other guys who are high strikeout guys too. So it's a bad lineup. I'm down with that one. Those are the guys you're focused on. Is there any interest in anybody else out there for pitching? Like I don't want to say Zach Gallen, but I'm just not a big Philly offense guy. I think they're really not that good outside of like maybe 1 or 2 guys. Any interest in Gallen, or is there anybody else that you can pitch tonight?
I want to pitch Gallen, but I'm not going to end up doing it. I'm not sold on this Philly team. I don't think they're very good, like you just said as well. And the problem is that, and Gallen, he certainly looked really good in his last start. I think it was in cores, racked up a ton of Ks. But the problem is that this Philly lineup just isn't striking out a lot. They're down to 27th in K percentage, at just about 20.3% over the last 30 days to righties. So the dew point model really likes Philly for hitting tonight, like for bats over there. So I think, I'm really trying at this. Like, we're at the stage now. It's so hot. It's so humid around. Pitchers are blowing up left and right. I'm trying to focus on pitchers in like domes. So I'm trying to play people with the roof closed. I'm trying to play pitchers in Miami, especially against Miami. That's why I like Corbin. I also like the other side of Hernandez against Washington. I go down to Kikuchi because that's the roof's closed over there. So you can feel pretty confident playing these guys. It's just tough with this hitting weather and these, nothing worse than seeing your pitcher out there sweating bricks, right? Like, you just know they're about to get lit up when that happens.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun, but let's flip it then. Let's talk about some hitting spots here and some pitchers we could take advantage of. The biggest team total on the night belongs to your Boston Red Sox against John Gant. I mean, do they deserve it? Do they deserve to be the chalky number one stack?
I didn't think they deserved it last night against Ober, but I think tonight is finally the night that they're going to let it rip, because John Gant is not very good. He's actually limited a lot of damage, but he's definitely been extremely lucky. From a BABIP standpoint and whatnot. This is a guy who gives up a ton of hard contact, and he's pitching in Fenway. It's an awful place, and the hitting weather is just hot and humid as can be. And he's not going to go very long. He doesn't go very deep into games. That bullpen's been used up a lot. The bullpen is not very good. And so I think tonight, as opposed to where we've had to wait until the bullpen for them to start hitting, I think they're going to start hitting right off the bat in this one. So I'm bored with Red Sox chalk tonight. Wasn't so much last night.
All right, moving on down the line here. Cleveland, who really, man, they're weird because they're not really that good of an offensive team, especially when their best hitter comes to the plate with some chicken grease on his fingers. It really slows down the whole lineup.
Who does that?
Jose Ramirez has been known to eat some Kentucky Fried Chicken in the dugout, come to the plate, and let the grease kind of affect his hitting. So it happens. It happens sometimes, but like, they got the second highest team total. I don't like Jordan Lyles. His numbers don't look good. He gets, let me see, the highest hard hit rate on the slate here. He gives up a lot of home runs, all that good stuff. But Cleveland's offense, outside of a guy or two, isn't really that good. What do you think about Cleveland?
Yeah, so over the last 30 days, he's got a 4.83 Sierra. He's given up over 2 home runs per nine, and low strikeouts at 20% with just an 11% swinging strike rate. And then if you look at it's pretty much in line with his season numbers. That's what we've been getting out of him. He's just been consistently giving up 2 home runs per nine. The hard contact is there. The fly balls are there. So yeah, Jordan Lyles, if things go right, it could be really upsetting when you're stacked against him and somehow your guys don't perform and you just get unlucky. But this is a good spot. This isn't the best team facing him. It's like Miles Straw is not a deep threat, although he is a threat to get on and steal some bases. Rosario's been hitting. He's been turning it up lately. Jose Ramirez, let's hope he's not eating the chicken, like you said, during the dugout tonight. Maybe he'll lay it down. But Franmil, after that monster home run late, Bradley Zimmer has been hitting. So it's really, I like that 1 through 5 for the stack there. But I do think this is a great spot. It's hot, it's humid. Dew point model loves it. And Jordan Lyles gives up home runs, and that's what we want. We'll take some variance with not one of the best talented teams, but when they're facing this pitcher, they certainly could go for any of those guys could go for multi home runs tonight.
Yeah, a quick trivia question for you here on this slate. Who gives up the most home runs on a per 9 inning basis on this slate? Come on, don't be looking at Fangraphs real quick. That's not fair.
Cookie Carrasco.
There you go, Cookie Carrasco. And the Giants actually, hey man, props to them. I thought it was kind of fluky like the first, 50, 60 games, but they proved me wrong. They're actually a really quality team. They've got some great numbers throughout the lineup. Even better for a stacking standpoint, they come in with guys batting 5, 6, 7, even 8th that actually have some power in their bats. And then they facing Carrasco, who's a shell of what he used to be in Cleveland when he was really good. That might be my favorite off the radar stack. What's the dew point say about New York tonight?
Dew point loves it. It's same this hot East Coast weather right now. It's 84 degrees. It's going to be 75% humidity. Dew point model loves it. Wind's actually blowing out about 7 miles per hour. Not a huge difference. You really probably want like 10 miles per hour, but 7 miles per hour is a little boost. And and we need that boost, right? Because it's a tough ballpark to hit in. But certainly Carrasco has not looked like himself. He's been giving it up. And like you said, this lineup is solid. I mean, Chris Bryant really adds a new dimension to them. You got Brandon Crawford. The one thing that stinks is that Belt is out for bereavement for, I think, his grandmother, who he dedicated the season to. I would have liked to have him in the lineup, but I mean, there's plenty of home runs in this lineup, whether it's Dickerson, Yastrzemski, even down at the bottom, like you said, 6 and 7, Wilmer Flores. I know he's not facing a lefty, but you can play this guy. Plus, it's against his old team, little revenge factor there. Now, I have a question for you. The people's favorite show, at least mine used to be Showdowns with you and Big T, right? How many likes, if we want to start to try to get a movement going to bring you guys together again for a show that we do, how many likes do you think something like that would take?
Listen, if they hit the like button 500 times before the end of the show, I'll make sure that I'm on the phone tonight with Big T, and I'll pay whatever price he names to come do a show with me all season long. 500 likes, but the people ain't gonna get there.
You don't have. I don't even know the numbers. I have no clue how many people are watching this, but I'll like it. I'm gonna like it right now.
They ain't gonna get that. I don't think the people got it in them. I don't think they got it in them to do that, man.
Because that was money. Your guys' Showdown shows have always been money. Just gonna say that right now.
It's funny you mentioned that. I can't say nothing about a show because I don't know what's gonna happen with the schedule this year, but I'm just looking down at a text, and I did get a text from Big T. That's a coincidence. I don't know what it says because I'm doing a show and I'm a professional. I can't be looking at my phone during the show, but it's very interesting you bring that up. All right, for 500 likes, I'm on the phone with Big T tonight, though, and I'm making it happen. But that's just not going to happen. I'm throwing a number out there that's crazy. That's a crazy number. Anyway, by the way, I didn't get to ask you, Kirk. Did you get any of the WNBA Top Shots?
I missed it. It wouldn't allow me. It didn't. It timed out on me. I was trying.
That's crazy, man.
I want my girl Sue Bird. Sue Bird.
There you go, Sue Bird. Yeah, that's WNBA Top Shots, man. That might be the new. Wait till the China money comes in, man, buddy.
If the China money ever hits, Top Shot is gonna balloon.
We're rolling in that one. We're rolling in that
baby.
one.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. What do we got? All right. Let's go. What about the New York Yankees? All right, they're getting a guy that the numbers are like average, maybe a little bit below average across the board. But one thing I did notice about I don't know how you pronounce Capillarian. I'll go with Capillarian. That sounds good. A lot of fly balls. He gives up. How's the dew point in Oakland? Is that a fly ball? Is that a fly ball venue tonight?
Well, did you see some BVP on a certain somebody?
I didn't. I didn't get that far. Oh man, you're making my mouth water now.
Joey Gallo.
Oh, I did see the Gallo. I didn't want to bring it up yet, but yeah, I saw that, and then I saw his fly ball rate and all the other goods. How's the Yankees? I tell you what, they've got some guys obviously who could hit home runs. Now they never hit them when I roster them, but I've been told they hit a lot of home runs. But what do you think about the Yankees?
I think they're pretty sneaky tonight. They haven't gotten any traction from what I've seen from pretty much anyone. And he's a decent young pitcher, but he's not incredible, right? He's only got a 23.8% strikeout rate, which is okay. But it's certainly not one of these high strikeout guys that make the Yankees, miss all these pitches. So like, he hasn't given up tons of home runs. It's not the best ballpark, but Does give up just about 46% fly balls. So, I mean, the Yankees, if they can get going, they can hit it. You know, they got the power to do it. You got the Joey Gallo BVP, you got Judge, you got Rizzo now, you got LeMahieu, you got Stanton. So this lineup is starting to look good until you look down at the bottom when they play Gardner or whatever. But yeah, I think they're a pretty sneaky offense tonight and worth playing for GPPs.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. You mentioned Big T, and all of a sudden he's in chat, man. You know, he's like that. He's got those ears up there, man. He's listening. So Big T's in chat. Also see in chat.
Big T.
Also see in chat. We got a request for a Chop Kirk Deese showdown show. I think that would be fire. I think that would be like Money in the Bank, a little showdown action with me and you breaking down the slate, but. Yeah, I don't know, man. I know you got a busy schedule though in football. You can.
I got no busy schedule. We are bringing the pod back. The tournament takes pods back.
Tell me about that.
That's another thing. I like. We should. I can't even speak about it. It's going to be coming back though. We got a new special guest. We got another guy that's the first time we're doing it with me. So we're gonna keep it rolling here. But that's. You know, I got plenty of openings in my schedule. If Big T, right. You know, or Chop and me, or you know, whoever want to do some showdown shows.
We're gonna have to figure out what's going on then, because you don't need to have any openings in your schedule, man. You're too good. You're too good. You got to fill the space. All right. Is there anybody else you can think about that you want to pick on that we haven't talked about before we get to talking about a few individual batters?
I wrote down Giants and Indians. Those were I also wrote down Yankees as for sneaky. I've got individual plays I like a lot, but those were the stacks that I'm kind of focusing in on.
All right, let's break down just a few hitters real quick. We got about 10 minutes.
And of course, I love the Red Sox. Like they're actually going to be good chalk tonight.
Good. I like to hear that. I'm gonna stack them, even on a 9-game where I usually go organic. I might just do some stacks just in your honor. All right, let's talk about some individual positions here before we get to Devin. So any catcher stand out for you? I actually didn't even have a catcher that I singled out. I think they're all kind of bled tonight. What do you think about catchers?
Let me pull it up here. Catch. So I mean, you could play Vasquez. You could play Real Muto, although it's a tough matchup and they're expensive, right? The guy I'm kind of looking at is Carson Kelly, especially. You know, batting cleanup. You know, he's much better hitter against left-handed pitching. Matt Moore is now in there, the lefty, and great hitting weather. So Carson Kelly's kind of my guy. I'll play Gary Sanchez some. And then everyone else is pretty much just if I'm stacking.
Fair enough. Catcher's not really jumping out. First base, I did highlight the Miguel Sano BVP because I think it's interesting. And then not just that he's had 15 good at-bats or 15 at-bats and good numbers against him. And he's hitting pretty well lately. You know, he's seems to be like hot if you're into that kind of thing. But we just don't know what kind of Chris Sale we're going to get. He's just not the same guy he used to be. So maybe he's not like that anymore. He pitches a lot more to contact. Maybe there's something with Sano batting cleanup with a pretty good salary. But that's the guy I had highlighted at first. Who do you have?
Yeah, Matt Olson, if I can afford him, was somebody I was looking at. Pavin Smith has some pop. You know, actually, let me check and see where he is in the order, because I know they redid the order once you got the lefty on board. Yeah, he's batting fifth as opposed to third. He's nobody ever plays this guy, so he's a guy that can go deep. But we'll get to when we get to outfield. There's an elite must play on the Diamondbacks, in my opinion. But Pete Alonso is probably the only Met bat that I want a little exposure to tonight. Jesus Aguilar, if you're playing like kind of looking for a leverage spot. Although, I mean, he's cheap, he hits bombs, and he's facing Patrick Corbin. So that's really the reasons to play him. First base is, I don't know. I could play Michael, or I could play Miguel Sano like you recommended. I don't mind Chavez too. So I don't know. First base is kind of weak to me tonight.
Yeah. You know what else is kind of weak? Second base isn't that great either. The one guy I did kind of like, I do have interest in is Tommy Edman batting leadoff tonight against Keller. Keller has average numbers across the board, not great, probably below average, slightly below average, but Edman seems to be, hitting the ball pretty well lately. He's stolen bases in back-to-back games, so he's not scared to run. And I just think that's a pretty good matchup. But what do you think about second base? Is Enrique your guy?
Yes, he is. Enrique is my guy. He came through with a home run late last night. Finally got there. Hopefully he'll
Yeah.
start it off early tonight. Let's see here. And yeah, second base is rough tonight, huh?
Yeah, there's not because we don't have the Dodgers Padres lineup yet, so we don't know about Trey Turner and those guys. So yeah, it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, Tommy. So when I'm looking at Tommy Edman, I mean, I like him better from the right side, but certainly he's fine leading off. But I didn't mention, I kind of like both Kellers pitching tonight, Brad Keller and Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller will strike out righties. It's a huge split difference with him. And we know that the Cardinals are all righties. So like if you're really searching for some deep pitching plays, both of those guys, I think, are all right. Brad Keller's, his velocity on his fastball has been up. So he's been throwing 94. It's hit or miss with him, but this is the Mariners. This is another team that we can take advantage. So I like both of those guys. Just wanted to get that on record. I don't really care who I play. I mean, Trey Turner would probably, if you can fit him, Kiki is the guy, Tommy Edman. Other than that, I don't really care. I mean, who knows? Nobody's sticking out for me other than that.
Yeah. Third base, got a few guys here. You got the Donaldson BVP we've already talked about. Jose Ramirez in a perfectly good matchup against Jordan Lyles. So he's one of the best hitters. And you got your guy. I mean, probably got to be your guy, the number one guy on the board. Rafael Devers, just a really good hitter. Over his last 20 at-bats, his average exit velocity is 94.4. That's a pretty whopping number right there. He's swinging the bat really well, got a good matchup. So Devers is a guy, but there's actually several guys at this position that look pretty good. Who are your guys?
That's the interesting thing with him is that he's actually, he smoked two balls, just missed 2 home runs last night, but got nothing to show for it. He's the guy you definitely want on the Red Sox in this matchup. But Jose Ramirez has the highest plate IQ rating I've ever seen, I think. I don't know if Jamino or whoever's running
takes naps in the afternoon, man. You got to watch out for some.
Let me just make sure it's still the same. Yeah, it's up. It's a 71.09 plate IQ rating. I've never seen over 70.
Oh man, that is a big number.
I don't know if it's probably not an error, considering that he's got a 329 ISO, 392 WOBA, and he's, against right-handed pitching this season, low strikeouts, and he's been patient, gets some walks. Plus, this is a decent stolen base matchup for him. So it all makes sense. It's a great home run matchup for you, as that we told you with Jordan Lyles, certainly a guy who gives up the long ball. So he's got it. It's him and Devers got to be the number one. Those are the only 2 third basemans I'm interested in. If I can't make that work, Kyle Seager for cheaper, or Josh Donaldson with that BVP play that we know is real and exists and the Chop Factors model likes. So he's there, or you could. I probably wouldn't pay up for Chris Bryant because I would just get up to either of the other 2 guys, but I do kind of like him.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that Devers smoked the ball last night, or because if you're looking at his weighted on base, it's actually pretty terrible in the last couple of weeks. But the exit velocity is maybe the highest on the slate over the last couple of weeks. He's just getting really unlucky. So, you got to take that. That's what the models are for, man. You got to take into account the details. He's just getting unlucky. So you got that for. What about if all those guys we talked about, and there's a lot of expensive guys in there, if you had to save a bunch of money, you really wanted a cheapie, what about Hunter Dozier against a left-hander tonight? Only $2,700 on DraftKings.
Yeah, and Kikuchi's picking up steam. He's going to be a lot higher owned than people were thinking earlier today. Got the extreme pitchers ump. Hunter Dozier, sure. Like will be a quote unquote leverage play. He's cheap. He's batting cleanup. He's a home run threat. Like that's all you want is a bomb, right? Like, so if he hits one and you got him for 2,700, you're cruising. So, yeah, I could get behind that. I do like Kikuchi. I think he's just suffered. He hasn't, his last 3 starts were all extremely tough matchups, and finally gets a good matchup. I think his stuff all looks out good. There's no need to worry. He faced the Yankees, Toronto, and Houston in the last 3. Tampa Bay before that, he did have a decent start. So I do like him, but 2,700 batting cleanup, sure, definitely.
All right, let's move on to shortstop, where we talked kind of briefly. Ahmed Rosario, he stands out to me. He's swinging a hot bat lately, and great matchup against Jordan Lyles. A good matchup, depending on how you look at it. We don't know about if Tatis is in the lineup. I don't know if I want to take him against Scherzer anyway. But although Scherzer, you said, does give up home runs, so Tatis, maybe I can't imagine he's that high owned. No lineup yet, late game. And against Scherzer, probably goes really under-owned, and you never know. Could hit a double dong. Another guy who could double dong tonight, mentioned in chat, but it's interesting, is Javier Baez. He's all or nothing, man. He can double dong or triple dong any game, or he can miss the ball by literally 5
feet. Did you see? Did you have that? I've never seen. It was just the funniest thing I've ever seen. One of the comments was, you watch this guy, he's the worst to roster in DFS. He swings at everything. He swings at every slider that's way off the plate that he has no chance of hitting. It must be, he just must not be good at picking up the pitch tunneling. But someone said he was swinging blindfolded at that pitch the other night. That was like literally like 7 feet away.
I didn't want to say nothing, but I had a DM the other day, and it said, the Baez swing looked like Empire Maker in that home run derby thing from a while back. I was like, don't go there, guys. Leave Blake alone, man. That's a good guy, but it's interesting. All right, so what do you got at shortstop for me? Because there's a few choices we got here.
Xander's been struggling, at least in the last few games, but he's got to be the top just because of the situation he's in tonight. Rosario, like you said, I really like him. Brandon Crawford, you said the highest home run per 9 rate on the board, although it's a small sample, sure, but this guy's been giving up homers each start, and Brandon Crawford is a guy that can smoke the ball. He's batting cleanup tonight. That's a nice play. Didi Gregorius is kind of the cheap, looking for a home run power in the ballpark, which plays to lefties. So it's a good park for him. Like him. Other than I don't know. There's really not anyone else I'm really looking at. Nick Ahmed, now that he's back in the, he gets the platoon. He's leading off now as opposed to going in the bottom. 3,300. I could go down to him, but that's about it. Xander's not in the lineup. The good. He needs a.
Yeah, he needed a day off. Yeah.
Let me check the line.
And Jared Barton didn't have to come in there and say anything like that. It's a pretty sarcastic statement to say to you that tell Kirk D. Xander in line. We don't need all that kind of toxicity, Barton. Okay, we're here, man. We're doing it.
I don't mind it. You got to think about where he came from. Who says it, right? You got to know the environment. This guy has. Let's not damage his reputation.
Yeah, let's not damage it.
Let's not go there. But let's just say he's had a tough 2007. 2008. Yeah.
It's been a rough time for him. But all right, let's go to outfielders now because we got to get to some QQs here. Man, 2 guys. You mentioned the Gallo BVP. Just Gallo in general looks good. Kyle Schwarber. We've been all over the Red Sox. Haven't talked about Schwarber yet. I love me some Schwarber. Oh. Who's your standout outfielders?
All the way. Vasquez is batting 6th tonight now for catcher.
It's weird. I was going to say, does that mess up your lineup? Does that mess up the stack? Because 6, 7, 8 don't look particularly good.
1 through 6, and this chalk is going to smash. So just get it in and make your lineup different elsewhere.
Fair enough. Outfielders, what you got?
Outfielders, we got the chalk play of the day. We've got Kyle Schwarber. Smoked one last night, gets the good matchup with the platoon against Gant. Plus, you're going to have extra bullpen tonight that's been used up. Verdugo for sure. Adalis Garcia is too cheap. The Cuban Missile is about to launch soon, and I think tonight's the night against Henkes, who hasn't given up much homers, but still he's 3,100. He brings the power upside. The weather's nice. You got to like that. Fran Mill is like an auto dong tonight. Tough on DK for 5,500, but he's reasonable on both FanDuel and Yahoo. And then you got Joey Gallo, the BVP play. All right, like that's the chop factors. Is he number one in your model tonight?
No, he's not. He
Oh.
wasn't. No, the BVP model was you know what? That was Tommy Edman. I'm going Tommy Edman on that one. You know, I'm taking like I don't like.
He's got BVP Edman. Let me look at that.
I don't like going guys under 8 at bat. 8 is my typical cutoff point.
You
So
ever
it's
do the entire BVP lineup?
Oh man, no, but because I think it's like going with the bad optimal.
But how
Like-
do you know how great if you hit with that a screenshot the Cardi would be
It would
if you
be a
hit
good one.
it, that would be electric.
Yeah, I might have to try that tonight. Yeah, we got a few guys, but yeah, I'm gonna go Edmund tonight. Sano's got some good. Gallo, Donaldson, all in good position here, but I'm gonna go Tommy Edmund because I'm feeling he doesn't just have the BVP home run stuff. I think he's got the BVP stolen base on lockdown tonight. I'm going Tommy Edmund with
Ooh, I like that.
two stolen bases.
I
All
like
right.
that.
So your outfielder, your play of the day, you said you got to have a must start in outfield. Remind me who it was.
I didn't have a play of the day, but I mean it's
Okay.
Schwarber's the cash play of the
There
day.
you go, cash game play.
I think Fran Mill is like a guaranteed dong tonight.
Friend Mill. All right. Yeah, Friend Mill. I like that. He's been good lately. All right, let's go with some questions. Devin, pop in and I hope you got a bunch of questions for us. We got plenty of time to kill here.
Yeah, I got plenty of questions. I think we should just go ahead and jump into a bit of a pseudo lightning round here. We got a lot of stacks to jump through.
Uh-oh.
You two haven't been on the show in a minute. We had a little adjustment to the stacks game. We're going to do one number, start us off as your ranking for primary stack. And then another number, the second number will be for secondary stacks. So for 3-man, maybe 2-man stacks. Follow me?
No, but let's
no.
go.
Not at all.
All right, we'll start with Chop. Yanks.
You want a number on it?
I want one number for primary stack. So if you're giving
One's
like
the worst, five's the best.
like 4 on FanDuel, 5 on DK, what would you
we gotta
rank it?
do per site.
No, not per site. I'm just saying overall. Just being specific.
Yankees. Can I do a 4 point something?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yankees 4.2.
All right, and for secondary,
Oh,
Like-
this is how
like-
this goes.
like any 3-man stacks. I should have prepped you guys.
I don't know. Like, so a full stack, 4.2, a secondary stack, 4.1.
You're a fan of New York.
I'm gonna go on record and say I don't like this
This is
secondary stack.
Really weird.
It would
They didn't come up with
it
this
would be
system.
easier if you guys had known about it before 5 seconds before we started it. Let's go with Kirk, the Yankees.
Yeah, I'll say 3.5 for a main stack. I'll say 4 for a secondary stack. Just try to try to pick 2 of the home run big bats and hope that you get the only home runs from the Yankees.
See, I squeeze an answer out of you guys because any answer is something for the viewers. So Miami,
Okay.
Kirk.
Ooh.
Miami is a leverage play. Unfortunately, I think I like Corbin better. I think Corbin's going to mow him down tonight. So I'll say 3 because I get it, but yeah, that's it. 3 both ways, secondary and.
Let it ride. Chop.
I just can't do Miami in any way, shape, or form. Even though Corbin struggles sometimes. So in both factors, both sets of stacks, they are like below a 2 for me. I just don't like their lineup.
All right, sticking with Chop. Cleveland.
Interesting. I would say that as a primary stack, don't like them because there's just not enough good hitters in the lineup. So I'm gonna say 3.1. As a secondary stack, maybe you get lucky with Fran Mill and Jose Chicken Grease, and so maybe we bump it up to a 3.8.
This might be a good time for us to address. Myself and Otaku from chat were wondering, Chop, what did Jose Ramirez do to you? How much money did you lose playing him one day?
Nothing that I can think of that he did directly. It's just that you just have to watch games. This is where guys who don't watch the film, they get lost a little bit. There are times when he comes to the plate and he's just not himself. And then upon further, you rewind the tape a little, you investigate a little, and you realize, what's that substance on his fingers that's glowing? It's kind of glistening in the sunlight.
Glistening.
Like, yeah, it's glistening.
Catches the sunlight.
Same thing happened to the Red Sox years ago when they were getting Popeyes.
You go back and look at you go back and look at the tape, and
you got to watch the tape. You got to watch the tape.
So the chicken grease is the eye test then. All right. Kirk, Cleveland.
Cleveland is, I'm saying 5s. Cleveland is going to go off tonight. So I'll say like just play 1 through 5 and, be like chalky, but just make your lineup different elsewhere. So 5 and 5.
5 and 5. Kansas City.
Oof. Kirk, what you got on KC?
Not very high. 2.
Yeah, I'm with Kirk.
I'll say like 3. I'll say like for a mini stack, you could go with like Hunter Dozier, Salvi, for a catcher, and maybe Merrifield.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give a higher ranking to the mini stack.
Some of these, I'll admit, some of these stacks I put on here, and some of them I anticipated the more favored mini stack than primary stack. But Boston, Kirk, what's your thoughts?
Boston is 5. Unfortunately, they're too chalky, but it doesn't. Tonight is the night they're going off. I wish I did a show yesterday and I could have said I don't think that they're going to go off, but tonight they go off. So I'm going to say 5 and 5.
I'm saying that yes, that is the best big stack of the night because. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna have to revise that statement because I saw that lineup. 6, 7, and 8 don't really jump out to me, especially 7, 8. I think you could wrap around with Bobby Dahlback at the 9 spot. He's pretty good. He's got a lot of power. So yep. I'm going to say that, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the lineup I really trust. So if you stick to those 6 guys, I'm going to give that big stack a 4.8. The mini stack is going to be in the same range. You just 1 through 4. Some of those guys mixed in. I'm going to give those guys a 4.8 also.
All right. We're officially in full lightning round. Just 2 numbers. St. Louis, Chop.
St. Louis, Mitchell, Keller, 3.7, 3.8.
3 and 2.
All right. We already touched on Cleveland, Texas. Kirk.
2 and 3. 3 for the mini stack.
I'm in the same boat. Mini stack much better than the full stack.
And San Fran, Chop.
I like it. I like Frisco tonight. So I'm going 4.4 for the big one. And let's go minis 4.1.
All right, I got a question for Chop.
Okay.
It's not often I get to do a show with a super veteran of Yahoo. And so I want to know who's the top Yahoo super veteran stack of the night, Chop.
My God, Kid Yahoo asking Chop what the Yahoo stack is. Never thought you'd see the day.
Top. Let me see here. You know what? Let me pull up the numbers real quick. Super veteran stack of the day. Let me pull up the numbers. Give me a space filler, Devin. Give Kirk a question while I pull up the numbers.
Kirk, rank Seattle for me.
Seattle is a 2 and a 3.
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, huh? If you get to that bullpen, if they get to Gallen, then so I'll say 3 and 3.5.
All right, Arizona.
Ooh, best play on the slate tonight, Ketel Marte. Other than that, I like Carson Kelly and not much else. Maybe Ahmed. So I'll say a mini stack is like a 4, a 2 for a full stack.
While he's on Yahoo, Kirk, what are the DK Cash SPs that you're looking at?
Probably it's what I'll tell you 1 second. It's probably Max Kikuchi or Sale Kikuchi. That you got to take your pick if you want to be, Sale does have more variance than Max. So it's one of those 2 though, and probably with Kikuchi just because of the price.
Chop, need more time?
No, I got it. Like I was gonna say Yankees, but just looking at the ownership on Yahoo, the projected ownership, San Francisco jumps out to me big time. Just not a guy in there is probably going to be over 5% owned.
They've
Give me some San
been
Francisco.
sneaky this week. Well,
Yeah,
we're out of
yeah.
time. So, Chop, you want to take us home?
All right, that's it, guys. We appreciate you tuning in for Thursday. Stick around for the next show, which is Crunch Time with Roth, Dre, and STL Cards. And don't forget to hit that like button, guys. If by the end of the night it gets to 500, I'm going to do a show with Big T. I promise you. So until next time, guys, that was our producer, Devin, Chris Kirkwood, Kirk Dees. I was your host, Head Chopper, and we're out of here.